And our next speaker is Mr. Karl Huober. He is board member of the ROL in Germany, which is the Association of Organic Food Processors, and director of Huober Brösel Company. He studied economics and philosophy. He worked for 5 years for the Institut für soziale Gegenwartsfragen, Institute for Social Questions of the Present, and as a journalist for the newspaper Taz. And then he decided to start a career in the product-based business. He began working for Huober Brösel in 1980. He's becoming a director in 1982. And today Huober Brösel employs 180 people. In 1989 he founded the company Erdmann Hause, a processor for biodynamic farmers. And the company, which is based on a cooperation model for better economic relation between stakeholders, specialists, specializes in spelt products and has developed a new methods for cereal processing. Mr. Huober, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you want to hear now? In 10 minutes. I think I always, the experience of every single day shows me that there's a necessity to look to the fundamental questions. What are we doing? What is going on with us? What is this impulse for organic economics? As Europeans, we cannot be simply proud of what came into the world through us Europeans. The glance, or what do you call it, the splendid features of scientific attitude, of technical sovereignty, is not faces of the past, but it is increasingly until today followed by a shadow. The heart of this shadow is exploitation. We should see what kind. We say exploitation of the nature, but at the same time it's not just of the nature, it's an exploitation of man. It's a self-exploitation. When we now in our days try, somehow a kind of consciousness is always there, of course, of this, let me say, polarity of the light and darkness in the development which we are responsible for. And when we now talk in our days of sustainability, in German Nachhaltigkeit in the economics, this is what we feel we should do. We should look more to the basics of the thing, because it is not possible just like, it is like a boxer who got a big punch and he's going to his referee and trying to do, I'm fit again, I'm going on now, sustainably I'm boxing on. Do this economic job in a sustainability method, with new methods. This is still, when we react like this, it's exactly like a boxer who is, he's still a boxer who got already his punches on. The question when we talk about organic is how to change the economics at all. The significance or the importance of that what we are trying with correcting a development of, let me say, altogether 200 years maybe, or 100 years of development, in the field of nutrition, in the field of farming, of agriculture. This includes much more as just, something on the surface. Where is it that we do not get aware of it? There's a kind of mechanism we are involved, and we are trying to correct the things by mechanisms, price mechanisms, and so on. But as a producer, I see it every day. There's a fundamental polarity, which we do economics in. Then on the one side you have nature, on the other side you have something which is developed as capital. Let me say, this is a side where we try to emancipate ourselves from the nature. This was the way of the development. But one day there is a border and it comes back. To make it easy for us now in this short, in few minutes, I use the point of view of a special eminent Indian chief who looked on the white people and he said, the white man has to go his way. We will die, but he has to go his way. But he doesn't know yet where his way is going to, because he is dark for his own way. When we try to change the way we do it, the one-sided developed agriculture, and industrially developed agriculture is a consequence that we are just fascinated, followed in our development one way, one-sided. And we forgot there's a polarity between agriculture and industry. We are talking just about economics. We have a minister for economics, for example, politically, and then maybe we have an extra field for agriculture. But in fact, as a matter of fact, we should have a consciousness that Ministry for Economics is responsible for both parts. And these are different, like my left hand and my right hand. So different it is. Agriculture and industry. All life, Mr. Double started with contradictionaries which are in the world. What is without it? This is a polarity which has to play somehow. It's like, what is it in English, eine Feder? If you have, what you have in your watch, a spring. This has two sides, you can tend it. But if you over-tend it, it is just damaged. It must be there and you must have a play somehow in between. So with this idea, so I have just 10 minutes, and as I said, I don't know what you want to hear, but I think somehow when I look to this, we are just one part of trying to translate a movement which is going on with us. This is just one possibility to translate the things. It's a larger field we are involved in. I think what we have to get is, instead of just being always running behind the dates and the figures, we have to turn it around. We have to look on what is really going on. We have to somehow have this theme also to do with that we cannot rule the world just by economic growth always. But how do you do this? How do you differ? As soon as we stop the machine, I give you a picture. They did an experiment with a monkey. He was ruling, bound to a machine where he did something like this, and there were the bananas. And then there was a stream, from this machine he moved, making him happy in his nerves. Always when he wanted to stop to go to the real bananas, he stopped and went on until he died. This experiment was like this, the monkey, the ape, it doesn't stop ruling like this, because when he does, this happiness is a lack of happiness, and he does not come to the bananas. This is in a certain way a picture for our civilization. And when we just on the surface, correct the things, it's not enough. So what I do is I try always in my work to build chains over the whole polarity. So very close to our farmers, and very close to the customers. We try also the traders to get involved so that we can describe, a kind of self-rulement where trust can rise, somehow it's good, always you can see, you think, we have done a lot, but it is just what is the meaning for the whole development? It's relatively, a scenery in itself. As long as we do not understand what has that to do, with the fundamentals of our culture. Let me say it like that. So my English is not good enough, but I hope I please Mr. Stoll, our moderator, who is stopping here. Maybe this was enough to raise some questions. Thank you. Thank you very much.